All right, number 18 is a little bit different. It's kind of got the number of persons times the price is equal to the cost. So to get the total cost, you take the number of people times the price, which is pretty intuitive. What they said is the total cost for the bus trip was $180. And then, so there was there was a planned amount of people to go, but then 6 people actually dropped out. So there were 6 fewer. And so the price increased by $1.50. Yeah. But that the total cost has to stay the same. So we're given total cost regardless has to be 180, right? So that doesn't matter. It's 180 whether you have everyone or even if there's people missing. That doesn't seem to make a lot of difference. And what we're trying to do is find out that how many people actually went on the trip. And so we know it's 6 fewer than original. So I'm going to say let n be the number of people on the planned trip. So let's say let n be the number of planned people. I don't know. So we'll put n in there. That was the original plan. But we know the actual amount was 6 fewer than that. So how would I represent that? Well, it's a subtraction, right? N minus 6. So this is, if we want to find the price, we just take the cost and divide it by the number of people, right? So 180 divided by n. And we know that the original price was cheaper. So we would take that. We want to include both equations or both scenarios. So 180 minus n, but then we have to add 1.5. And I'd like to keep it as a fraction, 3/2. That's the same as 1.5. So that's $1.50 right there, right? So now we've got our equation set up. We know the number of people times the price is equal to 180. All right, let's set that up. So let's take that. So the number of people, so we're going to say the number of people times the price is equal to, we know it's $180. So that's n minus 6, right? Times 180 over n plus $1.50, which I'm just going to put as 3/2. But you could put 1.5 or whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. It's equal to 180. So we could go ahead and expand that. If I expand that, and I like to do it that way because some things cancel out nicely. But anyway, let's do that. So I'm just going to multiply these terms here and then do it again. So it's repeating this distributive property. All right, so n times 180 over n, that's just going to be 180. You can start to see a pattern. That's going to be gone. N times 3/2 is plus 3n over 2. All right. Minus, and what is that going to be? 6 times 100 is 600 times 80 is 480, so 1080. 1080 over n minus 18 over 2, that's just minus 9, equals 180. All right, so right away we can see if we subtracted 180 from both sides, right, that is going to help us out. We already have it set equal to 0. All right, so it's already equal to 0. Let's see what we have here. So we've got a denominator of 2 and n. Those are both primes, so the lowest common denominator here is 2n. But that's the lowest common multiple of the denominator, so we're going to multiply everything by 2n. Not 180 here and here because we don't need to do that. Waste of time, right? So we're going to multiply all these parts by 2n. 0, then we'll have to do that there. All right, so then let's see what cancels. So 2 and 2. So we'd have, let's see, 3n squared. Here we have the n's cancel. So minus 2,160. Okay, and then that's going to be minus 18n. Oh, that doesn't line up. Let's get the eraser out, fix that. All right, oops. All right, so if we start factoring, we're gonna look for a common factor. Is 2160 a fact? Is 3 a factor of 2160? I mean, we can check with our calculators. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so 3 is the common factor. So we have n squared minus 720. You know what, I'm going to change the order here. So I'll put it in descending order. So minus 6n minus 720 equals 0. So now I'm going to try to find a product and sum. That's a bit of a tricky one. You could start with 72 and 10. We can't make that add up to -6, so we could keep working with that. How about like 36 and 20? Does that work? Fusing those factors, like 24. What's the other factor for 24? Get the calculator out. 30. Okay. Oh, that one would work. Yeah, so if we have -30 plus 24, good. Okay, so there we go. Let's change colors again. What are we going to go with? Let's go with a dark blue here. Okay, so 3 times, so we have n, and I said we're at minus 30, right? And plus 24 equals 0. Okay, so that would mean n is equal to 30. And what was this we were talking about? N was the number of people, original amount of people. We can't have, this would be if n is -24. We can't have -24 people. That does not work. Okay, so we'll rule that one out. Okay, can't have negative amount of people. So we'll forget about that. So n is equal to 30. So if the original amount of people is 30 and the question says how many people actually went, so 24 people actually went, right? That is, and that seems pretty reasonable. We could check that 24 and then what would be the cost? How much would they spend per person, stuff like that. All right.